According to South Korea's intel agency, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump might pursue smaller-scale agreements with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Now, why not big deals? Something that Trump pursued and chased 6-7 years ago. We are joined by Dr. Bruce Bennett. Welcome back.
Well, thank you. My pleasure.
Thanks for joining us. Let's start with what these small-scale agreements could be. I mean, what could be included in these smaller deals?
Well, I think the problem with the large deal is that Kim rejected that even back in 2019. Then President Trump tried to get Kim, as I understand it, to offer more than just Yongbyon, to offer a more extensive set of shutdown of nuclear facilities in the north, and Kim absolutely refused. So he's not going to try and cross that path again. The other problem, of course, that he faces is that Kim was furious after President Trump walked out of that Hanoi summit. And so I think at this stage, it's not going to be a group of two friends getting together and trying to negotiate. It's going to likely be Trump leveraging Kim and saying something like, we want you to shut down the Yongbyon uranium enrichment facility, a limited agreement, and if you don't, we will modernize all of the U.S. nuclear weapons storage in South Korea. Won't put nuclear weapons there, but we'll modernize that. That kind of coercive environment may be the only way he gets to some form of meaningful negotiation.
So Trump may be seeking smaller agreements because of all the experience that they went through 6-7 years ago. Again, what kind of smaller deals then do you expect to come out this time, if they ever met?
Well, I think that Trump will try to focus on individual elements of the nuclear program. Trying to get Kim to give up his whole nuclear weapon program, that's just not going to happen. You look at even public opinion polls in South Korea, and 90% of people don't think North Korea is going to fully denuclearize. So Trump is going to have to try to take it a piece at a time, and that's going to be tough working with Kim because Kim is going to be resistant to any reduction. Remember, Kim has said he wants to exponentially increase his nuclear weapons and nuclear weapon production. So cutting down on that increase is going to be a very tough effort.
What kind of deals do you think have the highest chance to please and satisfy both Trump and Kim Jong-un?
Oh, I doubt that any deal will please both sides. I think it's probably going to have to be done coercively, and I think Trump's targets will likely be on certain nuclear production facilities. I think it's easier to get Kim to agree to freeze certain aspects of the nuclear weapons nuclear production than it is to get Kim to give up nuclear weapons themselves. And so I suspect that's where he's going to start. But to do that, he is going to have to be prepared to coerce Kim and push him to do that.
So it's a given that Trump and Kim Jong-un will engage, in the near future during the Trump second administration. Now, what should then South Korea do so that we don't get left out of Washington-Pyongyang talks, especially when, things are really rocky here on the Korean Peninsula or here in South Korea because of the whole political drama?
Well, I think an important part of this is for the South Korean government to start working with the Trump administration as soon as they're inaugurated on Monday and start offering their own ideas on what parts of the North Korean nuclear program ought to be discontinued. That's an important aspect, and in what kind of ways Kim can be pressured in order to do that. Not pressured in terms of military actions, but pressured in terms of giving a comparable program to the South Korean government. We know that South Korea has F-35 aircraft. They could carry nuclear weapons. Tell Kim that we're going to put nuclear weapons storage at that base so that if Kim doesn't stop production at the new nuclear weapon uranium enrichment facility he just produced. We've got to give Kim some incentive to move ahead.
Staying in close touch with the incoming Trump administration will be crucial for South Korea. Dr. Bennett, North Korea fired a hypersonic missile 2 weeks ahead of the launch of Trump administration and another short-range ballistic missile 1 week ago. Should we expect another missile launch on the inauguration day next week?
Well, I think we probably can. You know, the problem that Kim faces is he's sending many of his missiles to Russia. So he doesn't have a lot of extra missiles to test. But he probably is prepared to hold back a missile or two or three in order to make a point. He may do it on the inauguration day. He may do it shortly before or after. But he's going to want to catch Trump's attention. And Trump's got to be prepared to come back and say, you shouldn't have done that. Here's the penalty for doing that.
Right. Well, that time, Trump will be speaking as the U.S. leader. Dr. Bennett, thanks so much for your time and your insight. As always, you have a wonderful day.
Thank you. My pleasure.